Morning, Sam.
Good morning, gents. Good morning.
How are you, Sam?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thanks, pal. You've been working this weekend, I'm guessing.
We've been working all weekend.
Some boy, aren't they?
No, well, coming from you, I mean, that's not really, the hardest working man in the industry. I'll take that. Jeff, did you not get the memo, by the way, this morning for those people watching on YouTube? Me and Ali are just rocking the standard light blue jumpers.
There's a train of thought I'm too old to be wearing one of these.
I think you're pulling it off. I think you're down with the kids looking really, really cool,
That'll do for me, pal.
I think
Carry
you're looking cool. Let's start with the back page review on the Daily Mail, shall we? Toon plotting Ramsdale raid. Simon Jones writes this morning on the back of the Mail that Newcastle have rekindled their interest in Arsenal goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale. 25-year-old is keen to play regular Premier League football again after being reduced to an understudy role following David Raya's arrival. Newcastle have Martin Dubravka in goal. Current number one Nick Pope set to return at the end of the month, but Dubravka's 35, Pope turns 32 this month. Newcastle want a younger option in goal, and manager Eddie Howe, of course, a big admirer of Ramsdale. He signed him for Bournemouth back in the day. Ali, potentially a move that could work for all parties?
Yes, although it would give a healthy competition once Nick Pope's back fit. I think, in all fairness, Dubravka's come in and done a reasonable job, but I think we're all maybe I'm not saying we're all of the opinion, but I would think Pope would automatically come back in once he's fit. He's 32 years of age. Goalkeeper's different position. They obviously can play a lot longer than perhaps outfield players. Would certainly make ideal sense for Ramsdale.
It makes ideal sense for Newcastle, but I tell you what, it means that Nick Pope leaves the club because he doesn't stay as number two.
Yes.
No.
They'll
He's too good to be number two.
They'll keep Dubravka as the number two and sell Nick Pope, and I think there'll be no shortage of takers either because he's a fine goalkeeper.
Well, that's correct. Well, that's the question. I think Newcastle have got to weigh up. Do they think Ramsdale's a better goalkeeper than Nick Pope? Because I think Jeff's right. Nick Pope ain't going to hang about and play second fiddle at the age of 32. So, big decision for them.
So that's back of the Mail. Potentially Ramsdale coming in to Newcastle. Back of the Sun, all eyes on Isak. Oscar Paul says this morning Newcastle are braced for Arsenal and Spurs to launch a £100 million move for star striker Alexander Isak. But Eddie Howe has warned the London clubs that their hitman is simply not for sale. Isak has 14 goals in 21 games this season. I love Isak. I think he's a top centre forward. Do you maybe think, certainly if Arsenal come in for him, would that be a good fit, Ali?
It's not the kind of signal that Newcastle would want to be sending off, isn't it? Because they're meant to be on the rise, meant to be bringing players in, meant to be building. So I'd be very surprised unless Isak fancied the move that it would happen. He might fancy the move because he's without doubt going to have a better chance at this moment in time. I would have thought of winning things, particularly the league. But if he wants to hang around for the project, and it is a project, then he'd have to weigh all that up.
Yeah, Newcastle maybe just bump up his wages a little bit as well, which they can do without being outside the financial fair play rules. It did make me smile when Spurs were linked as well.
No, he's not going to leave for Spurs.
Why? With all due respect, he's not going to leave Newcastle for Tottenham.
No chance.
No, Arsenal's one thing. Yeah, I thought Spurs were strange as well.
You either go, there's two reasons you go, to win things or financial security, right? That's the two reasons you go. I ain't going to Spurs.
No. So we've got some player transfers on the back of the papers, and we've also got some managerial transfers as well on the back of the papers. De Zerbi on short list for Bayern job. Konstantin Eckner says this morning on the back of the Times, Roberto De Zerbi has emerged as the leading candidate now to succeed Thomas Tuchel at Bayern. We know that Tuchel is leaving the club in the summer, and we also know that Xavi Alonso, who was the first choice to replace him, is not going to be going there now. He's staying at Bayer Leverkusen, and after that setback, De Zerbi has become the front runner for the job. Max Erbel, who recently joined the Bayern board with a remit for overseeing the first team, is a particular admirer, and it's understood he has already put out feelers to discover where the Italian would be available. Now, I don't want to put words in Roberto De Zerbi's mouth, boys, but some of his quotes over the weekend, I kind of got the impression that when asked about his future, he wasn't very committed, was he? He seemed to be like, well, I'm not so sure if Brighton are going to match my ambition. But do you guys rate De Zerbi?
Maybe not. Sorry, Jeff, I come in there. Maybe not just as highly as Liverpool and Bayern Munich at this moment in time, to be brutally
You're
honest.
not so sure?
I'm not so sure.
I mean, and if you are brutally honest as well, and I like him a lot, but how much of an upgrade on Thomas Tuchel is he? That would be a question for me. But the quotes, I thought this is just brilliant timing. De Zerbi is in demand from Liverpool and Bayern Munich, so it's a great time to put what he wants in the mind of Tony Bloom. If you want to keep me, you need to do this.
Yeah.
And I thought it was absolutely brilliant, to be honest.
And what about in the Premier League? Liverpool need a new manager, but potentially, we don't know, but maybe United and Chelsea as well. Do you think those three clubs domestically could be looking at De Zerbi, Ali?
I think definitely, yeah. But I still think there's a question mark.
Too soon.
I genuinely do. I think the big talking point over the weekend is probably Alonso deciding to stay where he is, been 1-0 down in the 89th minute, and winning 2-1, and Bayern Munich effectively, I wouldn't say handing the title to Leverkusen, because that's the last thing they've done. Leverkusen won it themselves, but it was a really interesting weekend in the Bundesliga, and again Alonso just showing what a coach and what a manager he is, and is going to continue to be.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.